Free the Dream, the very first year, the very first event, is going to blow people's minds. People that come to this event, their lives are going to be radically, powerfully, profoundly, positively impacted. No doubt, no question whatsoever. What is up, everybody? Cliff Ravenscraft here with another Reflection from the Front Seat post-workout edition. Oh my gosh. Saturday, August 4th, 2018. I am now 5 weeks away from hosting my very first big conference. 34 days from today, that conference will go live in person with whatever audience is there that day. The lights will go on, the music will be playing, the stage will be set, and I believe with all of my heart that lives will be radically, profoundly, and positively impacted during 2.5 days in Franklin, Tennessee. That's where my heart is. That's where my mind is. My confidence level on a scale of 1 to 10, it is about a 500,000 that's going to take place for whoever shows up. At this point, the speakers that I have coming, in addition to myself, there are 10 of them. They're amazing human beings. They have powerful stories in and of themselves. And they all are powerful communicators. The only exception to the rule as far as a communicator on stage would be my wife, Stephanie, but she is going to have such a powerful and important message for this audience, especially for those who are bringing their spouses to this event. The ones who have this dream in their heart of building their own self-employed business lifestyle, doing the work they feel most called to do, which by the way is not the only target audience for Free the Dream conference, but still that makes up a significant portion of the audience. And some of them are bringing their spouses, some of which are on the same page with them, who are supportive of their business efforts. Some of them are encouraging but hesitant and fearful of what's ahead. Some of them are, quite frankly, just not on board. They're quite a bit freaked out about what their spouse is pursuing, their spouse's dream, and they have that feeling like, I didn't sign up for this. And I know that Stephanie's message, even though she's probably going to be freaked out on the stage, but at the same time, I know that she's going to deliver. But this event, the speakers that are going to be there, even if I was not to take the stage and just allowed the other people that I've invited to speak at Free the Dream, it would be an incredible event. And then there's the fact that I get to speak at least twice on Friday, at least twice on Saturday, and once on Sunday. The fact that I get to deliver no less than 5 different talks at Free the Dream. If I did nothing more to prepare myself to speak and share the messages that I have to share on that stage, I know that it would be powerful in people's lives. But the reality is I still have a lot to work on my talks. I still have several more practice sessions to schedule and deliver in front of a live internet audience for those who have already purchased tickets, and both including to the live event and the virtual ticket option. So if that's one of you guys, don't worry, those are coming. But the part of me knows that if I did nothing more to prepare for my talks, I know that I would be able to get on stage and deliver, because the things that I'm sharing on stage are things that I'm engaging with people one-on-one with on an ongoing daily basis. On most cases, I am having daily conversations with people, mentoring sessions, mastermind group, hot seats that I facilitate, and just one-off conversations with lots of people around the world, locally, personally, people at the gym, at Chick-fil-A, at just all kinds of places, wherever I go. So I know that I'm prepared. At the same time, there's still something within me that says, Cliff, you need to really polish this stuff and all of that stuff. So I'm beginning, by the way, if I haven't told you, the whole purpose of today's vlog is to share where my mindset is just 34 days before this conference takes place, my very first event that I'm hosting. Well, not my first live event, my first big event. I mean, I've hosted some live events in the Next Level Studio, the Next Level workshops, and I had similar experiences and processes going through my mind before the very first event of that nature, which now those are kind of like just second nature. I could plan one today is, I could have one come up this Friday and I wouldn't have to do anything other than just say, hey, here guys, this is the schedule. I show up, I deliver, and it's awesome. So I know that next year, my level of mindset of preparedness is even gonna be just like, okay, let's do this. We got this. And I'm envious. I'm almost like looking forward to next year. And the reason why I'm almost looking forward to next year is because next year I will have so much of the unknown out of the way. I think that if there's anything that's got me kind of, I'm careful of my language. I don't want to tell you that I'm overwhelmed. I found myself, by the way, I'm going to admit to you and confess to you that to my wife, I have said, oh my gosh, I'm starting to feel overwhelmed. And that's powerful language there, my friends. And I don't know if this is going to make it into Free the Dream. It might. But the power of transformational language and how our language can transform the experience that we have in life. And when I allow myself to say, man, I am starting to feel overwhelmed by how much there is to do. I'm starting to feel a little bit of stress as a result of how much more needs to be accomplished to fulfill the vision of what this event is supposed to be in my mind. And I did. And in fact, I haven't, matter of fact, okay, I'm going to confess to you guys. On the way out to the gym today, I told Stephanie that again. And I'm like, and today I'm like, oh my gosh, no wonder I've been feeling a little overwhelmed and stressed about how much more work there is to do, and feeling the physiological pressure build up in my body because I'm allowing myself to define my experience as being stressed and overwhelmed. Now, if you compare all of that language that I just talked about and the fact that I told Stephanie that, and in fact, I'm gonna share something with you. Let me fix my seat. There we go, I'm more comfortable now. When I told Stephanie that before going to the gym, I actually said, okay, Stephanie, I gotta tell you, it's happening. I'm feeling very overwhelmed and stressed out by just how much more there is to do. I mean, I know I have all this marketing stuff to do, and I don't even know what I don't know, but I know I'm learning it, and I've got all these people that have given me so many amazing ideas that if I was to follow them all, it would incredibly pack out the house, and there's no doubt. And if I focused all of my time, effort, and energy on that, then I would have as many people as I would have there. I could have 750 people at this event. But at the same time, I feel like there's so much I want to do to prepare and practice my own talks and making sure that, and as I was telling her about how overwhelmed and stressed I'm feeling, I started to, having those deep, shallow breaths. It's like, oh, and I started to feel what I was expressing in words. And so thankfully, rather than jump down to my studio and saying, you know what, I'm gonna put my workout off until later. I'm gonna go get some of that work done, some of that stuff that I know I should have done yesterday before I left the office. And oh man, there's just so much. Instead of doing that, I came to the gym and I spent an hour on the Stairmaster, and I listened to my audio affirmations. And then I was reminded of some pretty incredible things. I'm dealing with a personal issue, or I was dealing with a personal issue with something that came up, and I was starting to struggle. And then all of a sudden, as I was listening to my audio affirmations, one of them came up. It goes something like, how you treat others says more about your relationship with God than it does your relationship with that individual. And then all of a sudden it's like, boom, broke free from any bondage that was tying me down from this situation. And you know what? I dealt with it and I said, hey, God, let's talk about what's going on here between me and you. And as soon as I did that, I was released from whatever hold that situation had. And I'm like, okay, that took that weight off my shoulder. Awesome. And then I went in and I was, doing my workout and I was listening to some Tony Robbins material, and I was just reminded of the power of transformational language. Just so happens to be exactly what I needed to hear. And I'm like, yep, I found myself getting caught up into that. And so you know what? How do I redefine what my mindset is? Am I overwhelmed and stressed by how much there is to do? No. Listen, if you want, go back to the very beginning of this vlog and hear how I explained to you guys in the opening about my vision of what's going to happen 34 days from today if I did nothing else. If I did nothing else, at the open of this vlog, I shared with you completely different language than I would have used before I came to the gym today, before I listened to my affirmations, and before I was reminded about the power of transformational language. And I'm like, wow, you know what? The overwhelm, it's gone. The stress, the pressure, the inability to take in deep breaths, gone. The feeling like I need to go and do everything that's on that list that all my friends gave me to do, gone. I know that right now, if I did nothing more to prepare for Free the Dream, the very first year, the very first event, is going to blow people's minds. People that come to this event, their lives are going to be radically, powerfully, profoundly, positively impacted. No doubt, no question whatsoever. Now, is there any doubt in my mind that I'm going to do more to market this event so that more people will be there to experience this first event? There's no doubt in my mind. So I don't need to be stressed. A couple days ago, matter of fact, talking about transformational language, in this vlog, I said, hey, remember how I worked so hard to build up so much margin in my life? Well, I'm throwing it all out the window for the next however many weeks it was at that point. I think it was 7 weeks. And you know what? I did throw out a lot of margin in my life over the past 2 weeks. I have been pushing myself to sort of a red line area. And you know what? I don't need to do that. That's what I'm realizing. I don't have to push myself all the way to the edge. Now, am I going to maybe have less margin than I have normally in my day-to-day life? Yes, there's certainly that. But do I need to wake up at 4:30 in the morning and keep working until 11:30 at night? No, I don't need to do that. And I'm not going to do that. Matter of fact, I've made the decision. I'm making the decision right here. I will not work those sort of hours at all between now and Free the Dream. I won't. So that's my mindset going into this. Now the thing is my mindset like over the past 2 weeks is different than it is right now. Right now I'm at peace with where things are at and where things are heading. If I do just 10% of the things that are on this massive Google document of all the things my friends gave me to do, then there's no doubt in my mind that there'll be a minimum of 100 people at this conference. The thing is my goal is to have a minimum of 300 people at this event. And I have to ask myself, why is that number so important to me? Because a lot of my friends, not my closest personal friends, who are like, Cliff, you totally got 300. You're gonna do that. But I have some other friends in my life, and they are very well-meaning, and I totally get what they're saying. They say, Cliff, even if you don't have 300 people there, you know that this is going to be a valuable experience for everyone that's there, and you're gonna learn and grow from this, and it's gonna be a wonderful first experience for your Free the Dream event, for your big conferences that you'll never forget. And I'm like, yes, I totally understand, but you don't understand. My vision is to have a minimum of 300 people here. And I have to ask myself, why is that? Is it so that I can impress the people that are there to say, well, Cliff Ravenscraft said he was going to have 300 people there, and look at this, he has 300 people. Am I worried? Is there any part of me that is worried that if I don't have 300 people there, let's just say if all this time I said, listen, I'm doing my first event, and from the very first day that I announced Free the Dream, it's my first conference, my goal is to have 300 people. If I have this event, and there are 90 people at the event, does that mean I failed? And will people judge me for that? Will people out there say, see, Cliff, you just don't have what it takes? And I want to tell you something. The answer to that question is yes. The answer to that question is yes. I know for a fact there will be people who will say, ha, I knew he couldn't do it. I knew he didn't have it in him. There are people out there that will actually rejoice if I fail to have a minimum of 300 people at this event. It's a reality. Do you know how many people that would be? About 3 or 4 people. Seriously, 3 or 4 people will have that response. One of them will be very vocal about it, because he always is. But you know what? I don't do what I do for those 3 or 4 people, or however many people that would have that reaction. I'm not doing Free the Dream for my own ego. I will admit that there's part of me that says I am a person who used to be very driven by my need for significance. One of the things that I have learned is that there are 6 basic human needs that I believe we all have. It's a need for certainty in our life. We all want to have security. We want to have things that are known quantities, things that we can depend on, things that are just secure, things that just we know are going to work out. At the opposite side of that, we all have a need for uncertainty. We need some sort of variety in life. You know, some of us will pursue certainty so much that it's like, man, I want something that is just going to work over and over and over again. And it's like, I got that I remember podcasting A to Z gave me a certain level of certainty. But eventually it got to be boring, and it didn't provide enough variety. It didn't provide enough uncertainty for me to get excited about life. And so we all have a need for uncertainty. We all have a need for significance, to feel important, to feel like there's a purpose for us in this world. Every single human on this earth has a need for significance. We all have a need for connection and love. We all have a need to be connected to others, to feel connected to others. And at a deep sense, we have a need for love in our life. And then those are the 4 primary needs. And then the other 2 needs are a need for personal growth and a need for contribution in this world. And so I used to be very heavy on the certainty and significance side of things. And today I still have a need for all 6 needs. So do you. So do we all. But I can tell you right now, the Free the Dream conference is not driving me to meet my need for significance. My need for significance is already met in this world. It's met through my relationship as a husband. It's met through my relationship as a father. My need for significance is already met through the relationship that I have with my close, dearest, most personal friends in this world. It's met through the Green Room Mastermind relationships that I have. My need for significance is met through my connection with people who are part of the Next Level Mastermind. My need for significance is met through all of the content that I produce and the number of people's lives that are being... I don't need Free the Dream to feel significant in this world. I don't need to speak in front of a stadium of 10,000 people to feel significant in this world. I feel called to do those things, but I don't feel the need to do them for significance. And I would be inauthentic if I told you that there wasn't some drive there and a temptation to allow my need for significance to drive me to want those things. So I battle that. That's pretty powerful transformational language. So I am conscious of that. See the difference between battling with something and being conscious and intentional about things? Transformational language, it's powerful stuff. Anyway, so why do I want 300 people there? I believe because that was the vision of this event. And without vision, people perish. And that was the vision. So the vision of the first event, the vision is 300 people are there. Not so that I can say this is how important I am, this is how many people I can draw. That's not it. I have a vision of 300 individual human beings' lives in a physical space being transformed by the message and messages that will be shared at the Free the Dream conference. That's the vision. And that's what I'm going after. And I'm pursuing it. And I will pursue it until September 7th. If there are 300 people there, awesome. If there are 750 people there, awesome. If there are 90 people there, awesome. That's my mindset right now. It really is my mindset. If there are 1,000 people there, that would be awesome. But again, that's probably just whatever. 300 people. That's the vision, and that's what I'm working towards. And those are every morning when I wake up in bed. I look at my calendar and I say, okay, how many days until the conference? Okay, how many tickets have been sold? Okay, so that means there are this many more tickets that need to be sold between now and today's 34 days. You just do a little bit of math, and that's how many tickets per day that I need to sell. And I'm like, okay, what am I going to do today? What 1, 2, 3, or even 4 or 5 things will I do today to get me closer to that vision becoming a reality? That's what I'm doing. And here's the other thing that I've noticed, my mindset. I've noticed that I've been working at this too much on my own. And you might think you know what I'm talking about. But it's not because I have a solopreneur lifestyle and I'm not, don't have a big team around me. The thing is I have people who are helping me. And it's not because I'm not tapping into my relationships and networks. I've hired a professional person to help me with paid advertising because it's something I know nothing about. I am beginning this week, this coming week is going to start the Facebook ads. I'm now dabbling with some Instagram ads. I've got another person in my Next Level Mastermind who happens to be a paid traffic expert as well, who's offered to help me, and I will be taking him up on this offer. I have a guy in my morning session of the Next Level Mastermind. His name is Ron Gibson. He's a digital marketing expert, and I'm going to be tapping into his offer for help over the next couple of weeks. I've got my friend Ray Edwards. I've been tapping into his help with copywriting. I've got my friend Michael Stelzner, who is a data-driven, he is a data geek to the core, and he's been helping me understand Google Analytics, UTM codes, and heat maps, and all this other stuff. And we have been radically, positively impacting the power of my sales page as a result of all of this. So it's not that I've been trying to do it all of my own. But I have to admit to you guys that over the last 2 weeks, I haven't been tapping into God and saying, "Hey God, how much of this is you?" And I'm like, and that occurred to me today. Especially when I was dealing with a little personal issue that came up and popped up with a certain individual out there in this world who would love to see me fail. And is very public about that. And then that affirmation today, it's like, listen, the way you treat others, or the way you feel about others, the way that you deal in relationship with another human being says more about your relationship with God than it does your relationship with that person. And then it's like, wow, no wonder that person had so much power over me. It's because I've been so self-driven in a lot of this. And I want you to know this, there's a part of me that is this. I am pursuing my vision, my calling, my purpose in life. I'm a Christian, I'm a believer, and I know not everybody who follows me is, but I am very much a man of faith. I believe in Jesus, and I believe that my mission and my purpose is a mission and purpose that I was created by God to do in this world. And it's just amazing to me how I've gotten so focused on what do I need to do? What do I need to do? What do I need to do? And some of that overwhelm is because I've allowed myself to believe that everything depends on me doing the work, or everything depends on me connecting with the right people and getting the right help to do the work. And today at the gym, while I was working out, I said, God said to me, however you want to say it, I felt God saying, listen, dude, did you forget that, I'm the one who gave you the vision? Did you forget the one that I'm the one calling you? Did you forget that I'm the one I already know how September 7th, 8th, and 9th is going to play out? Did you forget that I'm actually the one who's got my spirit working in the hearts of the people that I know that I want to be there? Did you know that, I'm the one who is inspiring your heart with the words to say and the content that you're sharing with people in the world? And that you may not see those people. I mean, Cliff, do you know? And this is like, I know that I don't hear God's voice, but this is what I sense God saying to me. It's like, listen, the words that you're writing in your emails, you see people clicking the sales page. You see people you see a lot of those people you're writing those emails and they're not buying yet. But I'm giving you the words and I'm working in the hearts and the lives of those people who are reading your emails, the people who are listening to your podcast episodes, the people who are watching your vlogs, the people who are following your Instagram stories. I'm working in their hearts, and I know that the right people are going to be there. I'll get them there, Cliff. This isn't all on you. And I have peace about that. That gave me a great deal of peace. And God's like, listen, come to me, all who are weary. I will give you rest. So I've decided that I'm still going to work and do the things necessary every day to work towards the vision of 300 people, but I'm going to have peace no matter what. I'm going to have margin in my life between now and the next 34 days. I'm going to practice. I'm going to do everything on my heart that God lays on my heart for me to do, and anything beyond that, I'm going to trust in Him. And if you're one of the people that God's talking to, or the universe, if that's what you believe, and not that I belittle the universe language, I understand it for those of you who use that. I look forward to seeing you in Franklin, Tennessee if it's you. FreeTheDream.live. See you there.